Hi, friends. I am really glad you're here. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know we've talked a lot about what doesn't need to live in your home, the clutter, the extras, the things that quietly build up over time. But today's video is a little different because these aren't just the obvious things, these are the weird ones. The tiny, forgotten, slightly ridiculous items that somehow made it past every decluttering session until one day you realize they're everywhere. It's not about doing more, it's about noticing what's been quietly weighing you down. So let's walk through a few of those sneaky little things, the ones you don't even realize are cluttering your space and your peace of mind. And the first one, I found it in a drawer last year and realized I'd been moving it from home to home since college. Number one, okay, that just in case drawer. Yeah, it's not helping. Every house has one, right? That drawer where random stuff just lands. I had one in the kitchen full of buttons keys I didn't recognize. Clothing tags, some cable, I swear. Came from a device we haven't owned in 5 years. I used to tell myself it's just small stuff. Might be useful one day. But you know what? I never used any of it. Not once. One day I pulled everything out and just sat on the floor like, why am I keeping this? These buttons, I don't even own the sweaters anymore. And those cords, no clue. Now I've made it simple. I keep one tiny tin for buttons only if I know what they go to, one zip bag for cords I can actually name. And that's it. The rest gone. And the funny thing is, I didn't miss any of it, not even a little. I just stopped feeling annoyed every time I opened that drawer. So if you need a place to start, maybe check that drawer. We all have one. And I promise clearing it feels way better than you think. Also, tomorrow I'm sharing a whole bunch of oddly satisfying things to declutter stuff you've probably never thought of, but I bet you'll love. So keep an eye out for that. Now, let's talk about another sneaky space hog that used to drive me quietly nuts. The next thing to ditch, ladies, is the holiday stuff we keep, just in case it looks cute again someday. Okay, so I used to have this big plastic bin labeled fall decor, and then one for Christmas pillows. And then there was Easter stuff, Valentine's mugs, and yes, I had an entire box just for Halloween gnomes. And it all felt innocent, cute even. But at some point, I realized I was giving up actual storage space for stuff I only use 2 weeks a year. Meanwhile, the things I needed every single day were crammed into whatever corner was left. So I made a deal with myself. If I truly love a seasonal thing, it has to fit into one container. One, if I buy a new pillow cover, something else comes out. I don't need 12 Christmas mugs. I need one that makes me smile when I open the cupboard in December. Now I just keep a couple of good quality inserts and change out the covers if I really want a seasonal look. Everything fits in one underbed bin. No more attic runs. No more stress trying to remember where I stashed the Halloween dish towels. And honestly, my house doesn't feel any less festive. It just feels less exhausting. Let's move on to another thing that's quietly stealing space, and it's hiding in plain sight. Number 3, next up, the paper trail that never ends. You know what I'm talking about. Receipts, business cards, coupons, loyalty cards from stores you don't even shop at anymore. They're in your purse, your car, that one drawer in the kitchen, maybe even stuck inside a book you forgot you were reading. At one point, I had an entire zipper pouch in my bag just for papers I might need. But guess what? I never ever opened it. Now I've got one simple rule: if I don't use the coupon within 7 days, it goes. If I wouldn't buy the item at full price, the coupon's not saving me anything. If I haven't been to that store or gym in over a year, I'm not going back just because I have the card. I even found an expired punch card for frozen yogurt from a place that closed in 2019. What helped was creating one tiny drop zone, just a small envelope I go through every Sunday. No big system, just a quick reset. Because those scraps of paper might be small, but the way they pile up, it makes you feel like you're behind on life. Constantly. All right, now let's talk about something that clutters up the room without saying a word. All right, time to talk about the bed and the pillows that multiply. I used to have 5 decorative pillows on our bed. 5. Every night I'd take them off, stack them in the corner, and every morning I'd put them right back. And for what? No one saw them. I didn't even like them that much. I just thought this is what a cozy bed should look like, right? But here's what I've learned: if something adds more steps to your daily routine, but brings zero actual comfort or joy, it might not deserve to stay. Now, 2 pillows. That's it. They're nice ones, my mom gave them to me, and they have washable covers, which means I can keep things fresh without owning a closet full of seasonal sets. And the best part, my bedroom feels like mine again. Not a display, not a to do list. So, if you're tired before the day even starts, look at the things you're maintaining out of habit, not love. That's where your energy is going. Next, let's head to the kitchen because there's one spot in there that hides more expired guilt than we realize. Number 5. Next one. The fridge and everything hiding in the back. This one made me laugh a little because I really didn't think I was that person. But yep, I found 3 half-used bottles of soy sauce, a crusty jar of jam I forgot about, and 2 opened baking powders. I only needed one. It happens, especially around holidays. You're in a rush, can't remember what you already have, so you grab another one and suddenly you've got 4 of the same thing, and most of them are expired. What helped me was this: every time I make the grocery list, I take 2 minutes to scan the fridge door and that back shelf. That's it, no deep clean, just a quick peek. And if I see something I don't use or forgot I even owned, it's probably time for it to go. I also stopped telling myself I'll use it up someday, because someday never comes for weird sauces or mystery condiments. The less I have in there, the easier it is to see what I actually need, and that means fewer duplicates, less waste, and honestly, less guilt every time I open the fridge. All right, from the fridge, let's move to another spot that quietly collects regrets: the picture frames you're not even using. Number 6. All right, here's another one we don't talk about enough: the picture frames with no pictures. I used to keep a whole box of them. Frames I got on sale, frames someone gave me, ones I thought were cute but never actually put up. And every time I came across them, I'd think I'll find the perfect photo for that someday. But someday never came. And meanwhile, that box just sat there taking up space, reminding me of things I hadn't gotten around to doing. So here's what I did: I pulled them all out, laid them on the floor, and asked, would I hang this up today if I had the right photo? If the answer was no, I let it go. Now, I only keep the ones I love enough to use right away. The ones that are already up, or could be if I wanted. No, maybe later. No more storage bins full of almost. And it's funny, my space feels more complete with fewer frames, not more. Because what's up on the walls now, it's intentional, not leftover. Okay, next up is something even smaller, but it adds up fast. Let's talk about rubber bands, paper clips, and all that random junk drawer chaos. Okay, let's talk about the random stuff that shows up everywhere. I don't even know when it started, but suddenly there were rubber bands in the silverware drawer, paper clips in the bathroom, a mystery key taped to the inside of a cabinet. And it wasn't intentional. It was just things I didn't want to throw away, so I dropped them wherever I was. You know that feeling, like I'll deal with it later? It's small. But small things don't stay small when they're everywhere. One weekend, I grabbed a little bowl and walked through the house collecting every loose bit I could find: push pins, clips, screws, even twist ties. Dumped them all on the table and stared at the pile like, what am I doing with my life? Now I have one drawer organizer, just one. If it fits, fine. If it doesn't, it's not staying. And wow, it feels good to actually open a drawer and not be low-key annoyed at yourself. All right, ready for the next one? It's hiding in your cords, the tangled ones you haven't touched in years. Number 8, let's talk about cords. Because wow, I had way more than I thought. You know how it starts: a new phone, a speaker, some random gadget, and suddenly there's a drawer or box overflowing with tangled chargers, cables, and cords that haven't seen daylight in years. Mine used to be this knotted mess in a shoebox. I'd dig through it once in a while, hoping I'd find the right one, and then just give up and buy a new cable anyway. Eventually, I just asked myself, when was the last time I actually needed any of this? And more importantly, would I even know which one to grab if I did? So I emptied everything onto the floor, kept what I recognized, labeled it, zipped it into one pouch. Done. No guessing. No guilt. And funny enough, I've never once missed anything I tossed. Not once. So if your cords are stressing you out more than they're helping, it might be time to untangle once and never look back. Next, let's head to another quiet clutter zone. Those old planners, notebooks, and half-used journals we can't seem to let go of. Number 9. Old planners, half-used notebooks, journals you forgot existed. I found one in a box the other day. It had 2 weeks of to-do lists, one grocery list, and then nothing. Just blank pages, like a little time capsule of good intentions. And I'm not judging, I used to keep all of them. Old calendars, empty diaries, even the ones I only wrote in once or twice. It felt like I should keep them, like maybe I'd want to look back someday. But let's be honest, I never did. Now I ask myself one thing: if I found this in someone else's drawer, would I think it's worth saving? And 90% of the time, nope. So I keep one current planner and one small notebook I actually use. The rest, I let go without guilt. Because you're not throwing away your memories, you're just making space for who you are now, not who you were trying to be 2 Januaries ago. All right, we're getting close to the end, but there's still one more sneaky category, and it hides in plain sight every time you go shopping. Number 10, tote bags, the freebies that never leave. It always starts with good intentions: a gift from someone, a store promotion, a cute design you saw at a market, and before you know it, you've got 15 tote bags, maybe 20. They're useful, right? That's what makes them so tricky. But here's the thing: I was still only using the same 3: one in my car, one in my purse, one I'd grab for groceries. The rest just sat there, folded up, stuffed in drawers, slowly taking over a whole shelf in the hallway. So I laid them all out, picked my favorites, the ones I actually reached for. The rest got donated to a local food pantry. They're always happy to have them, by the way. Now, when I open the closet, I don't get that tiny wave of stress. I just see 3 bags I use, that's it. And that's been the theme of this whole process. Not keeping things because they're useful. Keeping things because they're useful to you right now. That was a lot, I know, but really, you don't need to declutter everything at once. Sometimes just clearing one drawer or finally tossing one bag of maybe someday stuff, it's enough to shift how you feel in your space. If even one of these ideas helped you breathe a little easier today, that's already a win. Truly. I've got another video that walks through how I declutter each room without making a giant mess. I'll leave that linked for you if you want to keep going. And if this one felt helpful, feel free to tap, like it lets me know what really supports you.